morning, everyone. I hope everyone is ready to have a great, awesome weekend. My name is Edgardo Gonzalez. Been in power for the last 7 years, celebrating the 7th year here. And as many of you know, everything at the beginning was totally different. And if you just got in here or been here for the last 2 years, you had everything done for you. Everything is great. And again, power is still not perfect, but as I say to everyone, power's imperfection is better than any perfection of any other solar company. And as you know, when things are already perfect, they're not an opportunity for you. So every week we'll be giving trainings on different subjects. Last week we gave a training on how to understand the platform. I know many of you already know it, but sometimes they don't go deep as we go. So if you have people, just send them to this training. People are starting. And of course, on last Tuesday, we had this training in Spanish and it was full. And as I see here, a lot of people getting in. And it's about the great subject of the adders. And what do you know? Why you need to know a lot about this subject, about the adders? Well, if you're in this business, it's because you want to make money. And if you don't handle the subjects correctly, you can either lose money or not make as much as you would like. So today, Marco, my son, which is an expert consultant with many closings, is gonna teach you on how to use them correctly and understand each of them. So yes, we will keep giving these trainings in Spanish and English every week. And at the end, we will show other trainings that we have. Now, I hope everyone join us tonight at 5 Pacific, 7 Central, and of course, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be an event with our CEO, Jonathan Bott. So don't miss that and invite as many as you can. So the adders is the part that you definitely, oh, here is great. Look at me, I look like a madman. What's going on? I gotta send some more pictures to Power. All right, so here today we're going to talk about the adders, and such an important subject because I can see all the time when I see the tickets, most of them are related to the adders, something that you either didn't put or normally that you didn't put. Mark is going to talk about which one are more common that you got to put there, or you would really need to put them there just to prevent have that taken from your remember, when they take money, it's not from your commission. All right, and Mark is going to talk about that today. You gotta understand, sometimes our project managers, when they needed to, oh, so we need to do this or need to do that, and it was not in the adders, we're going to take it from your, they say the wrong wording sometimes because either they're new or they just are not thinking about this. It's from the margin. So when they take something from, because you didn't put it there, for example, if they need a main breaker upgrade and they find out that it's needed, they're going to say, sometimes they say, and we look at this every day with Marco here and with many of our partners, oh, they're going to take it from my commission. Well, first, remember you're a partner here, you're a power partner. When you make money, when we make money, you take 70% and power only take 30%. Well, you're taking most of the cuts. Now, when we need to pay back money, or when we need to, like, it's not pay back money, but when we need to add something to the project, you have two choices. Either go back to your customer and tell them, hey, you know what, we need to add another $2,500, which I have done many times. In the past, we used to do not that much money. We used to make us probably $2,500, $1,500. That was in 2018, 2017, and actually until probably May or March of 2019, when Jonathan Bott showed us the new, plan, which you guys have today, we used to make around $1,500 per deal. And I still was closing, probably 5 to 10 deals per week. So that's why I was making good money, but not because we were making as much as we are doing right now. I was checking, and I'm making probably an average of $9,000 per deal right now. And most of the people in my team, that's the kind of money they're doing. So actually $7,000 is not the average anymore. And why is that? Because Power has more purchasing power now, and our costs have gone down. So sometimes when you don't do an MPU and they tell you that you have to do it, and that costs $2,200 or $2,300, depending on the city, don't think you're going to have to put it all. You're going to put 70%, and Power is going to cover the difference, 30%. Now, if you're making a lot of money, why not doing that? It's never recommended to go back to the customer and tell them, hey, you know what? Now we're going to have to add $2,500 to the project. I mean, it's always bad to add money to that. Sometimes when it's a big job, like a relocation or something, I would go back and tell them. If it is a roof, of course. But if you learn well today on how to do this and when to add it, for example, if you take a good look at the main breaker upgrade before showing your proposal, or you have the person that goes to the house, because sometimes you're the mentor, you probably can avoid those kind of situations. We're never good. You never want to lose money. You never want to add money to your customer, because you're going to start creating a friction there, okay? Now, so for that reason, it's better that you learn this well, and there's many others, and that's what this is about. So with that being said, I'm going to let Marco Velez start this great meeting. So take notes, and at the end, you can write down any kind of questions, and we're going to try to answer as many as we can. Enjoy the training.
Thank you, Edgardo. Thank you for that introduction. So for people that don't know me, my name is Marco Velez. I've been in Power for, I think, going 3 years now. Okay, I started when I was 16, and well, it's been a great journey. Okay, and I love training consultants on how to manage their adders, how to add them correctly, when you don't need them, when you do need them. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be talking to y'all about today. I'm going to start off with the most basics that we usually use throughout our projects, and then I'm going to go into the ones that are not likely used, but we still have the options for them. So number one, how do we get to our adders? Okay, every single proposal we have, we get our own design back. Okay, in the top right corner, there's these 3 black lines that I typically like to call them the hamburger. Okay, once you click the hamburger, the second option is going to be the adders. Okay, once we click the adders, we're going to have a bunch of boxes here that are going to determine what adders we can choose from. Okay, number one, it's our extended warranty. Okay, it's non-existent in the industry. We choose the 30-year PowerCare warranty. Okay, the good thing is the proposals are staged and calculated to depending on how much it's going to cost, depending on how big your system is, where your system is located. Okay, so you choose PowerCare warranty, or you have another type of warranties, but honestly, the PowerCare warranty is the best one of them all, and everybody knows them. I don't go into a project without adding this first, okay? Because that gives us a lot of leverage versus other companies, because other companies, they typically have the 25-year manufacturing that it doesn't really protect our clients or us, okay? So if you don't really know what is on the PowerCare 30-year warranty, I'll show you right now. Give me 1 second. So the PowerCare 30-year warranty, of course, as you know, it covers the panels, installation errors, the inverters, and the roof penetration, okay? The parts and labors are covered 100%. There's no deductibles. It's zero out of pocket. It's transferable if your homeowner has to move to another house or they want to transfer it to the new owner, okay? And it's backed up by Power. There's no third party, okay? That's what really makes us stands out from other companies, because we have our own PowerCare 30-year warranty. Okay. Perfect. So the second adder we usually typically use is the electrical adders, as Edgardo was talking about, the main panel. Okay. Now, a lot of people, well, they don't really know what type of main panel needs an upgrade. Okay. So if the main panel looks typically pretty old, it doesn't have much places to put in new breakers, or it's 100 amps, if I rarely recommend you choose the TBD, the to be determined option. Okay. With this, you're being on the safe side and protecting yourself from the cost if they do need the electrical box. Okay. If they don't need the main panel, the 2500 goes back to the margin 70/30. Okay. The only time you will lose if you don't add it before you sell the deal. Okay. So we also have a required option. You can put it in the proposal, and no matter what, they're gonna give them that main panel upgrade, even if they don't need it. Okay. There's some clients that are like, hey, I want it no matter what. We can give them that option as well. Okay. Another option we have is the relocation. Okay. This panel needs to be relocated because it's basically in a closet. Okay. It's not somewhere it's safe to be, and that's a hazard, and it's not up to code. Okay. If your client has a main panel that's not in the garage or somewhere where it's normally supposed to be, 95% of the chance it's not going to pass final inspection. Okay. And that's what the site survey is for, the house inspection, to see what we have to work on before moving forward. Perfect. The third option, the third adder, is multiple arrays. Okay. We click multiple arrays. In this case, depending on the price on the system size, is $1,140. Okay. Now, what exactly is an array? Not a lot of people know. Okay. The proposal actually helps you out with that. If you click the blue button in the top right corner, the edit button, in the top left corner, you're going to see some numbers, and then on top, it's going to say array. Okay. So this project has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 arrays. Okay. So every single place on the roof where there's panels, that's one array. If there's more than 2 arrays, you have to add the multiple arrays so you protect yourself from that cost. Okay. Let's say I sold the system. Okay. And I need to put the multiple arrays, but I never put it. During the project, the project manager is going to say, hey, we need 1140 for the multiple arrays. And like Ricardo explained, are you going to come out of margin from that, or are you going to do a change order? Okay. So if you add it beforehand, you save yourself the headache of needing to come out of pocket or having the client to re-sign a new documents. If there's only one array, you don't have to put multiple arrays. Okay. If it's just one side of the roof, that's just one array. The third adder I really like to use is the attic run. Okay. With the attic run, we're being professional and we're being taking care of our clients. Okay. An attic run is where these tubes and all the metal and then all the wirings of the panels goes through the attic and you don't see it outside. Okay. So it's going to be transmitted through the attic. It's a lot cleaner installation and it looks a lot more professional. Okay. Now, in this deal, in this project I have right here, I would add the attic run, because if not, the client's going to have a tube on top of the roof that connects all these panels, and it's not going to look very, very nice. It's going to look pretty funky. Okay. So when we add the attic run, we're protecting ourselves from that cost as well. And well, we're helping the client out. Okay. We're being a better sales rep. Perfect. The other adder is a $599 homeowner rebate. Okay. The max you can put in here is $599. And then if you try to do 600, it won't let you. Okay. So the max is $599. That is a check of about $599. Or if you want to put $120 with whatever pennies you want, you can do that as well. It's up to you. Okay. But I'm saying $599 is the cap. And this is a check that the homeowner is going to receive a week after, upon installation. Okay. After the system is turned on, they're gonna receive that $599 check. Now, you can do a lot of things with this check. If you're in Texas and you need to break from your electric provider's contract, you can use the $599 for that, okay? Or if you want to give your client just $600 for them to do whatever they want with it, you can do it as well, okay? The option is yours, and finance takes care of emailing this check out to your homeowner, okay? And it goes, when your homeowner receives the check, it's gonna go in their name, okay? So they can go to the bank, they can cash it out, or again, it's their option, they can do whatever they want with it. Perfect. The other adder would be mounting adders, okay? Let's say your client has, well, a metal adder, okay? As you know, there is an extra cost to that. So if you go to your mounting adder section, we have multiple options. We have metal roof, we have ballasted roof, concrete tile, or even ground mount, okay? So if our client does have a metal roof, make sure to click metal, and then you'll be pocketing, or you'll be putting this cost into the project, okay? And you're protecting yourself from that cost. Now, let's say your client uses a lot of energy and they don't have enough room in their roof for all the panels necessary for their production, okay? This case, if they have land or if they have a couple areas around them in their land of their home, you can put a ground mount, okay? Now, of course, it is a little bit more expensive, but you do have the option for that. Now, what exactly is a ground mount? A ground mount is when we put the panels and we structure them literally centered on the ground, okay? Now, there is multiple things that you have to do when you do a ground mount. If the meter is more than 75 feet away from where the ground mount is gonna be constructed, you would have to put dirt trenching, okay? This only protects you for 75 feet. So if it's more than 75, you would go to dirt trenching, okay? That's another adder we have for ground mount. And you would put in the amount of feet that you're wanting to extend the trenching, okay? So you're saving your... Now, what exactly is a trenching? That is when we literally make a hole on the ground and we trench all the way from the meter all the way to the solar arrays of the ground mount, okay? Now, we have dirt trenching, that's an option. And we also have trenching through rock formation, okay? So if it's not dirt and it's rock, take away the dirt and just put the feet on the rock formation, okay? Now, if you don't put the ground mount adder, well, you're gonna have to either come out of pocket 15,504 from the margin, okay? Or go back to your client and re-sign, okay? So make sure that you have your ground mount adder because that does raise the price, okay? Perfect. Another one I like to use is called the travel adder, okay? Travel adders is typically, let's say your client lives further than usual from the territory line of our installers, okay? If they have to travel more than 100, I think it's 100 miles or 60 miles, then you have to put the travel adder. This travel adder is $500 that will go to the installer for making that longer drive, okay? Remember, happy installers, better installations, okay? So we keep them happy, we give them some money on the side, just so they can use it for food, they can use it for staying somewhere, it's their option, okay? But we are giving them a $500 travel adder. Now, there are multiple travel adders and they raise up in the amount that we give the installers, okay? Depending on the state that you're selling in and depending the territory that you're in as well. Perfect. So let's say your client wants some critter guard, okay? That is another option we have. Critter guard is basically when we put some plastic wrapping around the panels, okay? This is to protect it against animals. This is to protect it against leaves or just anything that might fall under the panels. You just put in the amount of feet that you're wanting the critter guard to be, 30 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet. It's up to you, Okay, now something that I recommend when you're estimating the fee, overestimate. Okay, overestimate just a little bit so you're protecting yourself. And if they don't need those extra feet, it comes back to the margin. Okay, so you're protecting yourself and then you're making a little bit more just in case. Perfect. So another option that we have is we can add a roof into our projects. Okay, once you click roof work, you'll be able to add in the amount of the quote of the roof work. If it's 15,000, you'll add in 15,000. If it's 10,000, you'll add it in 10,000. This will be added into the loan, and your homeowner will pay it in the same payment as the system for the solar panels. Okay. Perfect. So another thing that we have, if we can add storage into our systems, okay? Here we have Enphase backup storage, okay? Enphase has multiple batteries, okay? They have sunlight only, okay? That is not a battery, those are just the inverters, okay? They have a 3 kilowatt battery storage, 10 kilowatts, 20, all the way until 40. Okay, now you do have to get certified with Enphase. So if you are wanting to sell it, they'll help you with that to size off the batteries. Okay, now this is how the Enphase batteries look. They are an Enphase IQ10 battery. Okay, 10 kilowatts. Perfect. We also have an option to choose the SolarEdge storage. Okay, SolarEdge has a 10 kilowatt and a 20 kilowatt. So no matter which one you choose, the price will adjust to what the actual costs are of that battery. Okay, so you're seeing the true cost of what you're adding into the project. And then this is how the SolarEdge battery looks. Okay, 10 kilowatt. Perfect. Also, whenever you are selling SolarEdge, you should put the SolarEdge backup interface. Okay, one for every 3 energy hubs. This is just making it more efficient, the battery backup that you're including your homeowner. Okay, so it's an interface for the backup. It automatically provides backup power to the home in an event of a grid interruption. Okay, so add that adder when you're using the SolarEdge backup battery. Okay. Additional permit cost. Let's say, remember, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're selling somewhere, you have to know where you're selling. Okay. So if you know that you're in an area, or you can choose a local mentor to guide you where you're selling, you might need to add some additional permit cost. Okay. It might be 200. You can add that there. It might be 500. You can add that there. Okay. It's up to you, and it's up to the mentor to train you on that, of course. Okay, so you do have that option. And if you have to, let's say the permit costs more than usual, you can add it there. Okay. Some jurisdictions require it. So you then, whenever you know where you're selling, you'll be able to add it to your projects. Perfect. We also have tree trimming rebates. Okay, so the same thing as a roof work, you'll add in the quote, the amount of how much it is to trim trees. It'll be added to the system price, and your client will pay it monthly, included with the system. Okay. So another one that's very important, it's steep roof. And not a lot of people know this, okay? But if your roof is more than 33 degrees inclined, steep, you're gonna have to add the steep roof adder, okay? This is a pretty good example of a steep roof, okay? This is obviously more than 33 degrees steep. And if you don't add it, well, of course, it'll be costing $2,280. Perfect. So stucco and paint, NPU. This is basically when they're painting and they're finishing up the wall around where they worked on the NPU, the main panel upgrade. Okay, so you can add that there and they'll repatch it up. Of course, you're doing a job for the client, so Perfect. So if you want to add the inverter into the garage, you can also do that. Okay, you can, it's $250. Also, something very important, we have the option to include a maximum of $1,000 for the energy efficiency kit. Okay, that's basically LED panels, smart thermostats, things that can help our homeowners decrease their energy consumption. Okay, maximum $1,000. Perfect. Also, we also have an EV outlet charger. Okay, in Power World, Enphase came out with their own EV charger. Okay, we can install our homeowners' electric vehicle chargers, and you can include it in your project. We have the options to choose from the outlet or the charger. Okay, the charger does include the cable to plug in the cars. Okay. And most importantly, we can't forget about the margin. Okay, this is where we make 70% of this number. Okay, so you can go in here, you can adjust it to yourself, to your likings. Okay, to make it fit for a good price for the homeowners to pay, and that you know that you're making fairly good money on your side as well. Okay, so 70% goes on our side, and then the 30% will be on power side of the margin.
And again, this is when if you don't know how to use this adders, is that you cannot make as much money as you could, or you probably end up losing money. So it's very important that you understand that you don't need now, because oh, Mark was telling us that we need to use all this. No, is that you have to really understand with your mentor which adders are needed and which ones are not. So for example, you're not going to start giving to everyone, you know, what Marcus shows about saving money. You know, you're going to use it when you see that someone has an old house and that probably, even that with the system that you're putting to them, he's not, you know, he might need that little push to save energy, or that when they, and some homes here in Texas, we cannot give them 100%. So that's the time where you could probably do some kind of help with that. That also helps you close some deals. I mean, adding those kind of features to the customer, it makes you more valuable. Okay, so you got to understand the power of sales to when you use those kind of adders to make yourself more valuable and give them those kind of push to help them save money. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be adding that to everyone. Okay.
Perfect. Second here. So yeah, perfect. I mean, that's pretty much them. I mean, I went over the most important ones that we use, and then the ones that we really don't use. Okay. You're on mute, Egalo.
Do you show them how to add when it's needed the attic ground, for example?
Yes. And this roof, it is definitely needed. Okay. Since there's more than 2 locations on the roof with panels, let's just be nice to the client and add it. And then we would be able to put all the conduits and all the cables and all the electrical works that go into the panels. It'll be in through the attic. And then it will be a cleaner installation for our clients.
Exactly. And I would be putting it to most of everyone, because even if you have one plane only and doesn't have multiple arrays, I mean, it's cool to have it all. I mean, if it's a decent system, unless it's a very small system and the people are so focused on the price, I would add it to mostly everyone, because that avoids pipes showing on the roof I don't think no one wants to look at those pipes, okay? That would say a lot about you and your company. So make sure they're not. All right. So let's see some of the question mark on the
Yes.
some questions here.
Let's see here. Give me 1 second.
Okay. People from Kingsville, Texas, our winner team from the South, they're doing great. Okay, so most people here, I don't see any questions. If you have any questions regarding this is the time.
Perfect. How does the energy efficient rebate get paid out? It'll be sent out when the processing of the rebates gets done. Okay, so whenever your M2 gets approved, they'll send out that check to the client as well. Okay, because finance does it all in one motion.
Can we offer the Solar Edge EV charger?
That's a good question, Carlos. I'm also trying to get a response on that from Solar Edge. Okay, at this moment, I haven't gotten one back.
I hope we can get batteries. Again, you can add batteries. And it's very important that you understand how they pay us, because at the end, we are here to make money. So Solar Edge came out with a great battery. And as you know, solar Enphase pays like around $2,000 per battery. They have limited, they don't have unlimited, discharge. Well, Enphase do. Some people, say, no, Enphase is not as good. Well, let me tell you, Enphase is a lot older than, Solar Edge is a lot older than Enphase. I have hundreds of installs with Solar Edge and with no problem. If they have a problem, it's going to be at the beginning, and they're going to be, the few of them that I have, it's going to be at the beginning, and they're going to be changed with the warranty. And of course, with the 30-year warranty, no problem in putting those inverters. But you got to understand that Solar Edge is paying us 40. How much is that they pay us for the batteries, Marco? $4,400.
Yes, and then
so it's a little bit more than double when we get paid for that. And in some places like Jacksonville, Florida, where they don't pay, they're not that great paying the rebates. Not rebates, the one-on-one credits is pretty good to use Solar Edge because it has unlimited discharge. And that's another class of batteries, but that means that they can use it completely with no problem. As far as I know, you cannot do that with Enphase. On top of that, you'll make around $2,200 more. So we've been selling a lot of Solar Edge lately, and I really trust in them. So yeah, you got to be working on that now. So be aware on how much money you make with each supplier.
This is how much you would make when you're selling Enphase and then Solar Edge, the batteries. Okay, so Solar Edge 10 kilowatt is $4,000 for your margin for you. Okay, and then the 20 kilowatt is 7,000, and then it varies, of course, with the Enphase, which ones you choose from. So I'll let this up here for a second so y'all can take a good picture of that.
And that's the difference between making a lot of money and less money. You want to be a top earner, isn't it? So, okay. And of course, we never sell anything that is not good and it doesn't, work well for the customers. But if that would be not a good choice, Power wouldn't have it. That's for sure. And if Solar Edge wouldn't be a good company, Solar Insurance wouldn't cover it. Now, with that being said, we want to be brief on these trainings so you learn a lot and you can bring home some knowledge and share with your team. And tomorrow at 9 o'clock, at 7 o'clock East Pacific, 9 o'clock Central, and of course 10 o'clock Puerto Rico and Florida, I'm going to be giving a training on, Marco, do you have that available?
I still have not received it.
How to be a great recruiter and what system I've been using, and some top people in my team have been using on how to close deals. Of course, tomorrow is going to be in Spanish, I see a lot of, people here. There's another question there, Marco Revise. Is that relevant to our subject today?
Perfect, yes. So is the energy efficiency kit something we give to the homeowner, or is it check? It's a check that they receive. The homeowner receives the check. Okay. For the tree trimming, would the client get a quote from their local tree trimmer and then we add the cost to the quote? Yes. Power at this moment does not do tree trimming, so your homeowner would have to get it from a local tree trimmer. For the trenching for ground installations, the first 75 feet are included. Yes, sir. And then you would have to add, if it's more than 75 feet, remember you add it in the trenching. And if it's dirt trenching, you add it in that section. Okay. If it's rock, well, then you add it in the rock formation, trenching.
That's when you have that's the part that we are telling you today, that you have to become good. Anytime we're doing a ground mount, if I'm selling it online, I ask the customer to measure it. I don't want no surprises. Now, sometimes I can measure it. I can see the picture and I know. So sometimes you want to put it to avoid being charged. Let's say, Marco, just add another 100 feet there of trenching. So that's $1,500. That's going to come out of your margin if you don't figure it out that well. So you want to make sure that you you want to make sure, like here in Texas, if you're in Austin on the west side, what they call it, the hill country, that's all rocks, really, really, really strong, hard rocks. So you got to put, rock formation, because if not, look at that. So selling solar is great. You make a lot of money, but your knowledge in this will help you make more, because it's a project like any other. And this knowledge is very important to make sure you take care of all those things. Thanks to Marco for this great training. Thank you, Marco. You did it again. Marco has been training a lot of people in the past years. He's only 19 years old. How cool is that? So bring your kids here too and have them make a lot of money in this industry. And of course, see you at the top.